What makes China one of the largest and most influential economies in the world? For decades, its rapid growth, massive infrastructure, and global influence suggested it was destined to dominate. But as we look closer, the reality is more complex. The economy is slowing, debt is rising, and cracks are emerging in what seemed like an unshakable financial system. So, how does China really make its money? Is it all as perfect as the headlines say? Or is there more beneath the surface? In this video, we'll dive into the structure of China's economy, explore the methods it uses to generate wealth, and uncover some of the challenges that come with being an economic giant. The rise of China's economy. China's rise from a poverty-stricken nation to one of the world's largest economies has been nothing short of extraordinary. The journey began in the late 1970s when Deng Xiaoping, the paramount leader of China, decided to open up the country's economy. A small town across the border from Hong Kong, Shenzhen, was chosen to receive special economic privileges, allowing it to trade freely with the outside capitalist world. Fast forward to today, and Shenzhen is one of the most economically powerful cities in the world. China's rapid industrialization and mass urbanization have led to the creation of cities that are now global economic powerhouses. In fact, some of these cities, like Shanghai and Beijing, are home to hundreds of millions of people, contributing massively to China's GDP. But how did this growth happen so quickly? And what fueled this expansion? One key factor was the country's adoption of low-cost manufacturing. By leveraging cheap labor, China became the workshop of the world, producing everything from consumer goods to high-tech components. In addition, China's government invested heavily in infrastructure development, building roads, airports, and seaports that facilitated both domestic and international trade. This focus on building a robust infrastructure network helped solidify the country's position as a key player in global trade. The Made in China label became synonymous with cost efficiency and scalability, allowing China to dominate numerous sectors, from electronics to textiles. China's economic engine, manufacturing and exports. The core of China's economy has always been its massive manufacturing sector. Have you ever wondered why so many goods around the world are stamped with Made in China? Well, it's because China became the go-to destination for companies looking to produce goods at a fraction of the cost they would incur elsewhere. This manufacturing engine powers not just China's economy, but the global supply chain. But there's more to China's success than just making products. The real magic happens with exports. China's manufacturing sector is one of the world's largest, producing everything from electronics to clothing to industrial machinery. As a result, China's exports flood global markets, raking in billions of dollars every year. However, here's the twist. Manufacturing costs are rising as wages increase. With this shift, China is starting to lose its competitive edge to other countries with cheaper labor, like Vietnam and India. This begs the question, how will China maintain its dominance in the global market? The answer lies in innovation. China has already begun using cutting-edge technology to stay ahead, investing heavily in automation and artificial intelligence. These advancements are not only making manufacturing more efficient, but also enabling China to produce high-tech products like electric vehicles and renewable energy systems, areas where it's increasingly focusing for future growth. But can technology alone keep China's manufacturing sector on top? As wages rise, will innovation be enough to maintain its edge, or will it need to adapt in other ways? The Belt and Road Initiative, China's global ambitions. In 2013, China launched the Belt and Road Initiative (BRI), an ambitious plan to invest in infrastructure projects across Asia, Africa, and Europe. The goal? To enhance trade routes and establish China as the central hub of global commerce. But how does this all work? And why is it so crucial for China's economic future? By providing loans and investments for projects like roads, bridges, and ports, China is expanding its economic influence in key regions around the world. But here's the catch. Many countries involved in the BRI are now struggling with debt. Some are unable to repay China, raising concerns that the initiative could be a tool for political control rather than just economic development. Does this mean the BRI is a failure? Or could it be part of a long-term strategy to strengthen China's global position? As China's economy faces internal challenges, the success of the BRI will be a key indicator of how the country navigates its economic future. Real estate and infrastructure. China's massive investment projects. A major part of China's wealth is tied up in real estate and infrastructure. In fact, the real estate sector contributes a staggering 30% to China's GDP. China has been on an unprecedented building spree, constructing everything from towering skyscrapers to entire cities. The idea was that as the population grew and urbanized, these developments would eventually be filled. But many of these ghost cities, as they are known, sit empty. Despite the risk of overbuilding, real estate has been a massive driver of economic growth in China. Property development is tied to local government revenue, and investments in infrastructure have created millions of jobs. The Chinese government has also relied heavily on state-owned companies to fund and manage these projects, further entrenching the link between real estate and the economy. But with the real estate market now slowing down, there are growing concerns about the sustainability of this model. Property prices in cities like Beijing and Shanghai have become unaffordable for the average worker, and the debt associated with these properties is creating a looming crisis. The payment methods in China and how people do business. China's business landscape is also shaped by its unique payment methods. The country is at the forefront of cashless transactions, with digital payments dominating everyday life. Services like Alipay and WeChat Pay are ubiquitous, allowing Chinese people to pay for everything from meals to transportation to utility bills, all from their smartphones. These mobile payment systems are not just convenient, they have also become integral to how people in China do business. Online shopping, restaurant dining, and even street vendors rely heavily on these digital wallets. Alipay, for example, is used by millions to complete transactions seamlessly, and its parent company, Ant Financial, continues to expand its reach both within China and internationally. WeChat Pay, which operates through the popular messaging app WeChat, is also incredibly popular and is widely used for peer-to-peer payments, bill splitting, and even investments. For businesses, particularly small and medium-sized enterprises (SMEs), these digital payment systems have streamlined operations. They offer faster payment processing and reduce the need for cash handling, making business transactions quicker and more efficient. But how do businesses in China adapt to these payment systems? In major cities, business owners often set up QR codes for customers to scan and pay directly from their smartphones. This is common in restaurants, retail stores, and service providers. Even in rural areas, these systems have gained popularity due to their simplicity and ease of use. For entrepreneurs, these digital payment systems open up a world of opportunities. The ease of transactions has allowed even small businesses to scale quickly, especially in the e-commerce space. Many businesses now operate entirely online, leveraging platforms like Taobao, Tmall, and JD.com to sell directly to consumers, with mobile payments facilitating quick and hassle-free purchases. The debt crisis. How much is too much? One of the most pressing issues in China's economy today is its massive debt burden. Over the past few decades, China has relied heavily on debt to fuel its growth. While its national debt to GDP ratio is relatively manageable, the real problem lies in provincial debt and the debt of state-owned companies. These debts are mounting at an alarming rate, with some estimates putting the total debt at over 200% of China's GDP. China has traditionally been known for its frugality, but in recent years, it has turned to borrowing to finance its ambitious projects. Local governments have taken on huge amounts of debt to fund infrastructure and real estate development, often relying on state-owned companies to do so. However, many of these companies are struggling to repay their loans, and the property market's downturn is making things worse. The government has been pushing to rein in its debt, but the reliance on borrowing for infrastructure and real estate projects has created a vicious cycle. If the debt crisis continues, it could jeopardize China's economic stability, affecting both domestic and international markets. The future of China's economy. What's next? So what's next for China? Will the country's economic engine keep rolling, Or are we heading toward a slowdown? The challenges are clear: rising debt, slowing growth, and an over-reliance on certain sectors. But despite these issues, China is still one of the most powerful economies on the planet. The government is already looking to high-tech industries like artificial intelligence, electric vehicles, and renewable energy to fuel future growth. Will this transition to a more innovation-driven economy allow China to maintain its global dominance, or will it face fierce competition from other nations? China's next move will shape the global economic landscape for years to come. Will it continue to rise, stagnate, or reinvent itself? So, there you have it. China's economic story is complex, full of ups and downs, challenges, and opportunities. Its rise has been nothing short of remarkable. But the future isn't as clear-cut as many had once imagined. What do you think? Will China bounce back from its current economic challenges? Or is it facing a slower, more gradual decline? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on the latest global economic trends, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll continue bringing you insights into the world's most pressing economic questions. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.